Wish everybody a very good afternoon. Today, we, the members of the NDLI Club of Siliguri Institute of Technology, in association with Central Library Society, have organized a webinar titled How Artificial Intelligence is Transforming Different Industries. We are delighted to have Mr. Utpal Chakraborty as the guest speaker for today's program. Here, I would like to give a brief introduction of Mr. Chakraborty's profile. Mr. Chakraborty is an eminent data scientist, AI researcher, strategist, and thought leader with more than 2 decades of industry experience, including as a principal architect in Larsen & Toubro Infotech, IBM, Capgemini, and other MNCs, including heading the artificial intelligence division of Yes Bank. Currently, he is the Chief Digital Officer, CDO at Allied Digital Services Limited. Utpal is a well-known speaker and author on artificial intelligence, quantum computing, Internet of Things, as well as Agile and Lean, and has spoken at conferences around the world. Utpal has also been recognized as one among top AI influencers and thought leaders by reputed forums. He has also been recognized as Global AI Ambassador 2022. I think there are too few words to describe his eminence, so I would not, elongate the introduction anymore, and would like to invite Mr. Chakraborty to start the proceedings. Mr. Chakraborty, please, would you take over the microphone from now?
Thank you so much, Dr. Bay. And I think my voice is reflecting to myself.
Yeah, actually, if I may say, your volume is quite low, actually.
Okay, so let me try. Is it better now?
A bit better, but could have been.
Yeah, so I don't know. My own voice is coming back.
Am I audible to you properly? Am I audible to you?
Yes, you are audible.
But your voice is coming very low, actually. That's what I don't understand.
So shall I rejoin? Hello. Is it better now?
A bit better.
But I don't know why my voice. Some problem, I think. So when I am speaking, I'm hearing my voice. Only. So is there a way to stop it? Hello. Any technician can help. Anybody there, Dr. Day?
Pardon?
I said anybody who can help, because see I can hear my voice only.
Yeah, I can hear you also, but very low, actually. Volume is very low. Let me call up Pinaki if he can do something. Hold on for a second.
Is it?
Are you speaking on? Now I cannot hear anything.
Okay, so there is
I think you're.
some problem.
Just a second. Just a second.
যে নম্বরে আপনি কল করেছেন সেটি বর্তমানে ব্যস্ত আছে। অনুগ্রহ করে কিছুক্ষণ পরে চেষ্টা করুন। आपके द्वारा डायल किया गया नंबर अभी व्यस्त।
I'm getting some sound.
Quite good.
Some strange sound is coming. A huge sound is coming. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello. Yes, now the sound has stopped. Yeah, now the sound has stopped. I think. Can you hear me now? You are on mute. Can you hear me now? Am I audible? Am I audible? Hello.
Sir, you are audible.
Huh?
You are audible.
I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Okay. Fine. So I think there is some problem with your side only, because whenever you are unmuting, so then I am getting some sound. So shall I start now? Shall I start? Ready to go? Yes, now.
Yes.
I can start, right?
Yes, sir. You can start.
Okay, fine. So I think if there are any technical challenges, please let me know. Okay, so that I can stop at that point of time. Okay, so sorry for this technical glitch, and thank you so much for inviting me to this particular session. Um, uh, I'll be describing a little bit on the artificial intelligence use cases in different industries in today's session. So hope I am audible to everybody and my voice is clear. And if you feel any kind of difficulty at any point of time, please stop me there itself or ping me so that I come to know that there is some technical glitch. Okay, so I'll share a small presentation here. So let me share a slide. Let me see. Okay. Oh, it is saying upload file. Do I have to upload or I can directly share here? Share screen. Okay, so I'll do a share screen. Share screen. And okay, let me share this. Or I can share a window. Okay, share entire screen. I hope my screen is visible now. Can somebody confirm? Hope,
Yes, sir. Visible.
My screen is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Visible.
Okay, fine. Okay, so let's start with some of the applications of artificial intelligence in different industries very quickly, and then we'll specifically discuss about artificial intelligence use cases or the applications in banking and finance. Okay, so let's start with healthcare and medicine, because healthcare and medicine is something which is impacting every one of us. So I think we should know that. But before that, I want to give a little bit idea about what is artificial intelligence. Okay, and what are the other technologies that comes under the subvertical of artificial intelligence. Okay. So artificial intelligence, as we all know, it is an umbrella term. Okay, so there are a couple of technologies that comes under artificial intelligence. The main subvertical is machine learning, okay, which is a very big field by itself. So here in machine learning, basically, we try to train the algorithms with the past data or experience so that it can learn from the pattern of the data. And within, so we have got some mathematical models, we have got statistical models, and we have got machine learning models. These models can learn by itself, okay, when we provide adequate amount of data and relevant data to these models or the algorithms. One of the major subvertical in machine learning is again called deep learning using neural networks. Okay, so neural networks are something which is inspired from human brain, and I will talk a little bit about how neural network works. So it is basically how our neural system works. Okay, so if you take the example of our visual system, so how we see an object, right? So normally the light rays from the object comes to our retina, okay, and it becomes inverted and goes to our visual cortex. In the visual cortex, basically the light rays are converted into electrical signals, right? And this electrical signals then passes through millions of layers of neurons. So now neurons are some special types of cells in our brain. So normally we have got around 100 billion neurons in our brain, and these neurons are special cells, and it works in a very strange manner, right? So these neurons are basically minus 50 microvolt potentially charged, okay, negatively charged than is surrounding. And the characteristics of these neurons are essentially whenever electrical signals falls into these neurons, the protein synthesis starts happening there. Okay, so it is like photosynthesis in the leaves. It is protein synthesis, and when the protein synthesis starts, uh, the the potential difference, okay, within the neuron again increases, and at one point of time, when it reaches a threshold limit, it fires the electrical signal to the other neurons, right? The other layer of neuron or the other neuron. So this is kind of it works in a threshold kind of a mechanism, right? So when the threshold limit is crossed, the potential difference threshold limit, then it fires the signal to the other layer, and thus it crosses millions of layers, and then it goes into a decision making layer where the actual decision has been made, okay, or where elastic image of that object has been made, okay, and then we tag the object with some name. So probably it is a cow or a buffalo, okay, or an elephant, okay. So once we tag it, then it actually stores that information, okay, and next time when you see again the same object or same thing, the same process happens, but this time you need not have to retag that thing, okay, because it has already been tagged. So it will say that, hey, this is a cow or this is a buffalo, right? So this is the mechanism that happens inside our brain. As I described, the visual system works in this way. The same mechanism, actually, we are trying to, not trying to, we are actually doing the similar kind of thing in a semiconductor, okay, in programmatic manner. Okay, so we are trying to create some artificial neurons there programmatically, and also we are passing input values along with that some weights and biases, and we also have like a threshold function, okay, which are called like activation functions. So there are different types of activation functions available. Okay, there are sigmoids, there are other 10Is, there are many activation functions available. Now, with that activation function, we actually see which are the values that should pass into the next layer and which are not, or if it is passing also, what value should go there. Okay, so that we decide. And this is how it is works. Okay, so this is basically on a high level, very high level, because it itself is a subject. So I don't want to go into details of that, because there are different variants of neural networks. So some popular neural networks are convolutional neural network, which is basically for your any kind of image identification, object identification kind of things that you use. There is another popular variant of neural network also, which is called recurrent neural network. And one variant of recurrent neural, which is in use in many places, like when you do Google search or you do any kind of Google Translate, we use something called long short-term memory, right? LSTM. So this is also a type of neural network, which recurrent neural network, which can actually process time series data, and it can also remember the long-term relationship between the data, right? So I mean, the Google search or Google Translate that we are doing, essentially the LSTMs are working behind the scene, right? So this is deep learning, and there is also another vertical there, which is called NLP, okay, natural language processing. Now, natural language processing is linguistic models, okay, wherein like we deal with how we human can interact with any software system, okay, either through text or through voice. Okay, so these are basically for chatbots and virtual assistants. So chatbots and virtual assistants are powered by something called natural language processing engine. Now, natural language are of two types. I mean, there are uh, two divisions of natural language processing. One is NLU, which is like natural language understanding, and another is NLG, which is natural language generation. Now, natural language understanding is something how the system or your algorithm or your AI system can understand the natural language, whether it is text or voice. And natural language generation is how it can also generate natural language to communicate back with the user, right? So these are some of these things. Now going as I described, like so this is called as a whole artificial intelligence, and there some people also call RPA, robotic process automation, also under AI, but I don't think so it is AI, because these are basically process automation. So there is no intelligent or human cognitive factor into that. So that's why it is not I don't consider RPA as part of artificial intelligence, but definitely machine learning, deep learning using neural network, and NLP comes under artificial intelligence. And also there are some few other cognitive science which comes under artificial intelligence. So I think that's clear. Now, as I told you, like how in healthcare and medicine there are many from the slide also only you can understand. Though the osteoarthritis detection using artificial intelligence is very easy, and it can be done at a very early stage, because what happens, like the diffusion of water, okay, starts happening inside the knee, okay, and when it starts happening, it is very difficult to identify through conventional approach. Now with the artificial intelligence, basically the computer vision, again using neural networks, you can easily identify this kind of ailments at a very early stage. Okay. Similarly for cancer detection, so various kind of cancers can be detected at a very early stage. Their diabetic retinopathy is another. So people who are having diabetes, who are having high blood sugar in their bloodstream, so they tend to have a gradual blindness, right? Slowly and gradually they will start losing their vision. Now this is called diabetic retinopathy. Now with AI, the diabetic retinopathy can be detected at a very early stage, okay, and so that it can be cured, okay, because if you can detect it in an early stage, then there is a possibility that you can either cure it or also stop the progress of the disease. Alzheimer, same thing. Now personalized medicines or precision medicine, what we call. So this is coming from actually, normally if you look at, our body mediums are different, right? So individual body mediums are different, but the medicine that we consume are essentially of the similar nature, of the similar molecules, okay. But now there is a concept which is coming up, and already it has started, the precision medicine, like how I can actually give the patient a medicine which is perfectly suits for his body medium, okay, and how the molecules, the medicine molecules will interact with the body cells and tissues and molecules there, what kind of chemical reaction it will have. So that kind of a study is also going on, and of course here quantum computing also plays a major role, because AI and quantum, basically quantum machine learning is a great combination, okay, and many of the things when it comes to drug discovery or precision medicine and other things, quantum computing is also playing a great role, right? So this is also there. Then heart disease prediction is another thing, like whenever somebody has a cardiac ailment, so normally the veins, because the most sensitive veins in our body is the veins in our or the blood vessels in our eye, right? So just by taking a scan of our eye, okay, back of our eye, and using machine learning models, we can detect like whether there is a possibility of this person developing any kind of cardiac ailment or not. Okay, so that is another use case. Now, I told you personalized treatment is another thing. Then you can actually reduce a lot of medical errors, okay, using machine learning, because there are a lot of medical errors happens, and a lot of people dies actually because of medical errors, right? So human errors, basically, you can say. But this can be reduced dramatically if you use machine learning there. Then there are many algorithms. In fact, anybody, you can also develop this kind of algorithms wherein you can identify whether a person is developing pneumonia or not. Okay, just by taking processing either the CT scan report or a normal X-ray report, with some deep learning algorithms, right? So you can do it. So many of the Stanford University has developed a very powerful algorithm. I think it is public now. You can use it. But I also developed one algorithm for similar kind of things, not for pneumonia, but similar kind of things. So these are called basically what do you call? It is cognitive digital pathology, you can say. Okay. So, and in clinical imaging, many of these computer vision applications of AI works perfectly. This predict mental health was, I think, 4 or 5 years back. Instagram has released one algorithm. Okay, they released for a couple of days and then again they took it back. So here, like just by taking a photograph in the Instagram, and if you upload, it can actually from the photograph itself, it can analyze and it can tell you the stress level of a person, whether that person is actually going through some kind of a mental stress, or he has been a victim of any kind of mental ailment. Okay, so just by looking at the face photograph. Okay, so such is the power of the algorithms, right? Although many of the algorithms are not probably giving 100% accuracy, but it is slowly and gradually getting messier, right? So I mean, I defined the depression on a person. Now, drug discovery, many of you know pretty well. So it is a very lengthy process. Okay, it takes around 15 to 20 years. Okay, from the start of developing a drug till what do you call? It has been actually approved for the public use in the market. Okay, because probably what happens, like in drug discovery, they will start with some, say, probably 1,000 molecules. Okay, potential molecules. Okay, or potential new medicines, basically. And what they will do is basically they do different clinical trials. Okay, and wherein it what they study is basically that they see how this particular molecules, okay, which are candidate for a medicine, is interacting with the body medium, or the disease for which it has been studied, right? Uh, but unfortunately, in 95-96% of the cases, okay, none of the molecule works, right? And they have to start the things again. And also, I mean, during this process, no, they lose a lot of time, because it starts with some kind of clinical trial. So they will go by one molecules and they will look at that kind of thing. And then probably one or two molecules will qualify till the animal trial. Okay, because I mean, this trial itself, clinical trial itself, is a huge lengthy process, couple of years. Then it will start with your animal trial, and then also they will look at different biodegradability factors and all other things. And then human trial will start, and it will consume another couple of years, and then only the drugs will be approved and will come into the market. So it's a lengthy process, and the most of the time that goes is basically in the clinical trial, right? So now with artificial intelligence, okay, and also some other simulation techniques, and here quantum computing is also playing a major role. Because why I'm telling quantum computing again and again, because these are, I think, I mean, these are the use cases for quantum computing as well. Okay, quantum machine learning, basically quantum computing with machine learning. Because as you guys already know, quantum computing comes with a lot of parallelism, or power to process in parallel, right? So, and it is very good for optimization. So what now they do is the drug discovery, and already many companies are working on that. In fact, I was also working with one of those companies, and I was giving, I mean, as an advisor, and giving some advices for some of their processes. So now they are creating kind of a simulated environment, and this simulated environment, I think in maximum in couple of months. Okay, nowadays it is not even months, couple of weeks, they can complete the clinical trial. Okay, clinical trial part. Okay, which is to take at least 5, 6, 7 years sometimes. Okay, so that is the benefit of a technology like AI. Okay, and now this, in the simulated environment, they can see how the molecules are interacting. okay, whether it is working or not, which molecules are working, which are not working, in a very quicker manner, and they can take a decision, right? And so the animal trial and human trial, it takes the same time, because here AI cannot help anything, because in the animal trial and human trial, actually they want to see like how how the medicine is affecting, okay, on a long term perspective also, okay, or what kind of symptoms may come, or what are kind of other effects may come, because body medium is a very complex medium, okay. So definitely you cannot simulate the entire body medium in a computer, at least. I mean, we don't have capability at this point of time, and I don't think so in coming 20, 30, 50 years we'll not be able to create a system wherein we can simulate the complete body mechanism in a artificial way, okay. So that is very, very difficult. So as I told you, like Google has a huge focus on digital pathology, okay, and they are actually continuously working. So they developed a game algorithm, and that the game algorithm is now being utilized for different pathological studies, okay. So this is something very, very interesting. So in China, there is a hospital, okay, and I think it's in the it's in the Anhui province only. So here, basically, in this hospital, a lot of the things are basically taken care by AI. Of course, there are doctors to take the final decision, but all your diagnostic reports and all other things, your medical history and all other things has been processed by AI, and it will present uh, a very predictive kind of a report to the doctor, so the doctor can take the decision on the treatment plan and all, right? Similarly, in travels and tourism, so there are many, many examples. I think most of you already know it, but still, I want to. So in Dubai airport, there is identity tunnel, right? So wherein basically, if you pass through the identity tunnel, uh, uh, it can compare your face. Okay, it's a face recognition basically. It will recognize your face, and it will compare with what do you call your passport and visa photograph, okay, that you have already provided, and it will redirect you into different queues, okay, whether you are a VIP customer, business customer, normal customer, economic customer, kind of thing. So that is one area. So facial recognition in Delta Airlines for baggage checking. So when you are checking the baggage, you need not have to show any kind of card or something like that. So it will automatically detect your face, and you can put your baggage into the baggage belt, right? Similarly, for onboarding into the flight also, you need not have to show your boarding card and passport and visa and all those things. So it will automatically detect your face. It's a face detection kind of a mechanism, nothing great about it. Flight predictive maintenance is a very interesting area, wherein basically looking at different parameters coming up, because now if you look at a flight, it is basically a completely IoT powered kind of a machinery, right? So anything and everything in a flight is basically IoT connected, and you are getting all the parameters from the different engine, different parts, different important parts, and all those things. So now, looking at those parts, okay, running some kind of a predictive models or predictive algorithm, it can tell you that at what point of time this flight should go for a maintenance. Okay, so and if you get a in advance notification, then it is better, because in that case you can avoid any kind of flight delay, okay, because many a times we see like the flights are getting delayed because there is a maintenance need for the flight, right? But if we can do prediction on that, and we can send the flight for maintenance well in advance, then we can avoid this kind of delays or kind of things. Similarly, Google Flight Delay Prediction was one algorithm in 2014. I think they have launched that, and now they have again taken it back. But the accuracy of the model was quite high. Okay, so it was able to, I think, more than 80% of the cases it was able to detect, okay, whether a flight there is a possibility of delay of the flight. Okay, and what it does is it looks into various parameters. Okay, it looks not only looks into the it looks into the flight booking data. it looks into the weather data, it also looks into the political condition, it looks into the data, the traffic data, you can say air traffic data of that particular airport, okay, where from it is actually taking off and where it is going to land, and all other factors, okay, and it can churn out those data and run some predictive model, and it can tell whether there is a possibility of a particular flight getting delayed. Okay, so these are some very interesting use cases. Similarly, in manufacturing, you see everything is happening through robotic hands, okay, which are again powered by AI. Okay, in agriculture, you see through the drones, they are taking the picture of this thing, and they can tell whether you require any kind of irrigation in a particular area, or this particular crop has any kind of disease, what kind of disease is there. Even they can do yield prediction, okay, how much is going to be the yield for this thing, okay? For a particular crop, okay. In traffic management, of course, this is a very interesting use case, and in fact, I have also worked in one of these use cases. So it is traffic management, traffic prediction you can do. Okay, so looking at different parameters. Okay, so it is like looking at the satellite images, looking at some kind of a seasonality. Okay, which particular date it is, or which particular day it is, what time it is. You can actually predict. Okay, that how much traffic is going to be there in a particular place or in a particular signal. Okay, and accordingly you can adjust your signal light and all those things. Okay, so this is also a very interesting. This is only you need to interrogate multiple data sources and then run some prediction on that. In education, okay, so now AI tutor is there, personalized education is there, wherein I think it can identify the areas where you are not so good, or you have got weak concepts, and it can throw you what do you call materials which will clear out your doubts and all those things. Okay, so that those kind of things are there. AI in games, everybody knows today. Any better good game is essentially powered by artificial intelligence. Okay. Similarly, so and the customer care, there are a lot of chatbots, virtual assistants are there, mood detection and all those things are there. So if you give a photograph, it can detect your mood, whether you are happy, unhappy, or neutral. Okay, and also there are product selection and product trying cases. So here also I have done one project wherein basically for jewelries, okay, costly jewelries, normally they don't allow you to wear those kind of jewelries. So you can use artificial intelligence to virtually try out those kind of dress materials or jewelries or kind of thing. It is like lens card, right? So in lens card, you can try out your these things. So similarly, in anything and everything, you can basically try out. And these are all AI powered. In banking and finance, so let me go to another slide. And I think it will be better so that if I can. Can you see my this slide? The new slide which I am sharing. Can somebody confirm? Hello. Can somebody please confirm whether my new slide is visible or not?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Can somebody please confirm?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visible.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. So now we'll be discussing a little bit on how artificial intelligence is transforming banking and finance. Okay. If you look at now, I will give you a industry perspective. Okay, as a whole. So I think all of you know what is digitization, right? So this is actually, we are living in a very exciting time, right? So you can say it is a golden era of technological innovation, right? So a lot of technological innovation are happening in this era, okay? And we are really lucky to be at this moment of time here, okay? Because And if you look back to the history, so any technological era, okay, is been contributed by multiple factors. It is not one factor. Okay, so if you have any golden era, if you've seen in the past, okay, so a lot of factors comes together and it makes a golden era. So here also, it is like many technologies came together, okay, like big data and analytics. So without big data, I think AI has no meaning, okay? Because if you cannot process that humongous amount of data, store and process that amount of data, then definitely your AI will not be able to give you valuable insights, right? So these technologies, big data, analytics, AI, machine learning, your quantum computing, IoT, all these technologies, blockchain, all these technologies actually attributed to bring this golden era of technological evolution, right? So now we all know the digitization is happening everywhere. Okay? So everyone is talking about digitization. So what is digitization? This is basically converting your physical services into digital service. So if you take a banking services, if you have to withdraw money or send some money to somebody else, you have to go to the bank, okay, traditionally, and then you can transfer that money to your somebody in your family or your relative or somebody, right? But now it is not required. From your mobile only, you can send that money, okay, because we have digitized that services, right? So these things are all happening everywhere. Okay, so for buying anything, you need not have to go to a market or a shop. You can actually order it from your mobile phone. So these are all as a result of digitization. And today, almost if you look at, we have digitized almost everything. Okay, whatever is left, I think in a couple of years, those also be digitized. But what is cognification? Actually, we are now moving from digitization to cognification. So digitization has become normal, common, or hygiene, and we are actually moving into cognification. So cognification, this is a word which is not available in any Oxford dictionary, but I keep on using this word, and also this is used by many of the experts. Cognification is essentially, you can think of this the topmost layer of digitization, wherein actually you will bring in the human cognitive element into your digitization process. So how to bring that human cognitive element into digitization process is nothing but cognification. And here, to make it cognitive, you require a technology like artificial intelligence, machine learning. Okay, then only you will be able to bring some amount of human cognition into that. And so the enablers are basically your AI, big data, and other technologies, quantum computing. These are the technologies which is actually helping to bring that cognitive element, that intelligence, okay, kind of human intelligence into your systems, into your digitization process. And this revolutionary transformation actually is affecting the products, processes, and strategies of an organization or an enterprise. Okay, if you take a bank also, okay, so all the products are now been digital ready for digitization, right? Because you cannot, I mean, it is not very easy to like convert your physical product into a digital product, right? There is a process behind that. So now banks are doing it. So almost all the products of a bank today, if you ask, okay, so they have converted it into digital products, and they are trying to render those products through different digital channels, okay, that they have. So digital channels are like their net banking, their mobile banking, their WhatsApp banking, their chatbots, their voice banking. So everything, all kind of banking. So you can do all kind of transactions, send money, pay bill, book fixed deposit, book recurrent deposit, whatever you want. I mean, today you can do it through that. Processes, all their backend processes are being completely digitized and completely cognified. Okay, nowadays it is happening. It is not all not happened, and even the strategies, because any kind of decision making today is not a common decision making. It is not through assumption. It is basically a data driven decision making, right? So already banks and financial institution or any enterprise for that matter, they have got huge amount of data. But how to get intelligence out of that data, that archived data? Okay, so that is only possible through a technology like AI. Because if you don't run some machine learning model inside that data, you will not be able to bring any kind of. You have to correlate that data, okay, and then only you can get some what do you call meaningful insight from that data, right? So that is the only possible. So now all the strategy, all the plans, all the future plans, okay, strategies are driven by basically machine learning or artificial intelligence. So now the very important thing is like many people have a question in their mind that what is the need of a technology like AI in banking? Okay, so what banks are doing with AI? Okay, so there are two reasons basically, and these are very, very straightforward reasons. Number one is banks, if you look at technically, it is a data intensive business. Okay, so whatever we are doing in the bank is nothing but we are playing with the data. We are manipulating data technically. Okay, of course, if you ask a banker, business people, he will say there are a lot of business rules, there are a lot of banking itself is a big subject. Yes, I do agree and I do believe. Okay, it is a very interesting and very big subject and very, I mean, one of the most interesting subject of the world, I can say. So many things are there in banking and so many new things are happening. But ultimately, as a technical person, if you look at deeply, it is nothing but we are manipulating data with some business rules, right? So it is a data intensive business. So any data intensive business, okay, whatever it is, it could be banking, it could be retail, it could be anything. Okay, you think of any kind of, they will not be able to avoid AI, okay, or they'll not be able to uh, ignore AI. Why? Because if they ignore a technology like artificial intelligence, which is the intelligent technology, then probably their competitors will start building their applications on that using AI. Okay, and they will take that advantage. Okay, they will snatch out all their customers. Okay, they will make their products and services much more intelligent, much more customer friendly, and they will take their business. Okay, so they can avoid, but after some years, the bank will be eliminated, or it will be extinguished from the market because they will not be able to survive in the competition. So that's why number one, all the banks, although some of the banks has not started using AI till now, but already they have understood and they are already have a plan to implement artificial intelligence into different application products and services going forward. Okay, so they have understood everything. Banks across the globe have understood because this is a power, okay, with which they can compete and they can sustain in the market because it can give lot of very, very intelligent predictions and recommendations, okay, using the data that they are generating, right? And also they can, with this data, they can also make very, very personalized and customized kind of recommendations to their customers, which customers like, right? So today, if you look at us, okay, we also like very, very personalized and customized offers that is coming to us. We don't like a generic SMS they are sending or generic kind of thing because I want a service from the bank which is as per my requirement, okay, which fits into my requirement, which fits into my current financial status and not many other factors. So that is possible for a bank because bank knows their customer much more intimately than any other business because banks has your financial information, and with that financial information, they can actually do a lot of intelligent and very, very relevant recommendations to their customer. And nowadays, the millennial customers, they are looking for that only. Okay, so these are the two reasons why the adoption of artificial intelligence in banks is very, very high, and it is again growing. Okay, so in coming couple of years, you will see there are a lot of adoptions there. So these are some technologies, as I told you, which are already been part of bank. Now, when we talk about artificial intelligence, it is automation technology, right? Ultimately, automation technology. And for that matter, if you look back to our history, so last 200 years or 300 years, okay, whatever innovations we are doing on the technological space, okay, it is one way or the other way automation only. And automation is basically directly or indirectly targeted to eliminate the human labor. Okay, that's why automation is there. Okay, so in the industrial revolution, what we did, we have implemented a lot of machineries. Okay, so that we can eliminate the labors. Okay, industrial workers. Okay, and in that process, cost cutting used to happen. more and more production capability came into picture. Lot of human errors what used to happen, those are eliminated. Okay, there is a lot of efficiency in the process. Okay, the time to market for any kind of product production, it has increased. Okay, so this is in the industry. Similarly, in the IT revolution, lot of normal official jobs, okay, people used to do with pen and paper has gone. All IT things came into picture. Okay. So here also, in this case also, in cognitive automation, if you look at using artificial intelligence, here also it is an automation, right? And whenever we talk about automation, then there will be some kind of a cost cutting, some kind of a time cutting, you can say, and also some human labor cutting will be there, right? But the most important thing is like this cognitive automation has a lot of values. Okay, values in the sense it is actually it brings a lot of value into the table in terms of what do you call um, uh, it brings that human cognitive element into this system. Okay, so the mundane activities which a normal human used to do till now can be replaced with a software system using artificial intelligence. Okay, now you can ask like what then is going to happen to that human. So normally what happens by implementing this kind of technologies, actually although we are replacing human, but on the other hand, if you look at, we are elevating human workforce into a higher level, okay, wherein they can do some more cognitively challenging jobs, okay, rather than doing some mundane job. Because we humans are not made for doing mundane jobs, right? We don't are made to do repetitive jobs. We because God has given us brain, so we want to do some kind of a cognitively challenging job or intellectually challenging kind of a job, okay, wherein we can use our head and all these things, right? So that's what is happening. And also, if you look at, I mean, there is a short term and long term implication of this kind of automations. Okay, so in short term, you will see definitely, okay, it will take a lot of jobs. Okay, there is no doubt about that, and it happens. I mean, we have to accept that. But in long term, okay, it actually creates a lot many jobs. Okay, and that we have seen in case of industrial revolution and in case of IT revolution, both the revolution. These are the two very major technological revolutions that happened in last 200 300 years, right? So in both the cases we have got evidences that in short term, although it takes away some jobs, but in long term it creates a lot many jobs. Okay, so don't worry about like artificial intelligence will take away job. No, it is not going to take away job. It is not going to replace human. No, not, this is not there. Only thing is it is actually, it will aid human to do jobs in a much better way. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, so those confusions should not be there. So now I'll talk a little bit about banking and finance. Okay, I don't know how much time we have got, but yeah, probably another 15 20 minutes I can talk. uh, so in banking and finance, okay, what I call is turning AI into ROI. ROI means return on investment. So whenever you are building AI application, definitely you are going to invest something. Okay, so how you can turn that investment into some kind of a what do you call fruitful result in banking. So, and these are some banking use cases, and those who are not aware of banking. So, the entire banking and finance industry actually can be segregated or categorized into three major uh, segments. Okay, so one is capital market. Of course, here the capital market has all kind of your shares, your all other things. They are share market, your portfolios, okay, your stocks and all those things. The another is consumer banking. So consumer banking is basically a division wherein we deal with the consumers, like your savings account, current account, or it is corporate banking also is kind of a consumer banking only. Okay, and another part is major section is insurance. Okay, so these are the three segments, and all the three sections, there are many use cases and applications of artificial intelligence today, and it is running in almost all the banks. Okay, many of the banks, okay, except for very small banks or kind of thing. So I have listed down some of the examples so that you can get some idea like how it is transforming. So one is fraud detection. So fraud detection is a very big area in banking. So there are many kinds of frauds. So there are credit card frauds, there are debit card frauds, there are insurance frauds, there are a lot many, and every day new and new frauds are coming here. Okay, and this fraud detection in a conventional way, okay, used to be very very difficult because these are rule-based systems in a conventional way, right? And in rule-based systems, your system can detect a particular type of fraudulent transaction. Okay, so for let's take the example of credit card. So out of millions of transactions, probably one transaction is fraudulent. Now to detect that kind of a transactions, if you have written some kind of a rules, right? But these fraudsters are also very very smart. Okay, so they are also evolving, and they knows the loopholes of the bank, security loopholes of the bank, and also they knows what kind of rule that you might have already coded, right? So they are also coming up with newer techniques. So now your rules are not been equipped enough to detect all types of frauds, right? So here what happens now, you need a adaptive system, okay, which can actually learn from his past experience, or which can detect actually which is normal and which is abnormal. Okay, so that is very very important, right? So because in that case, if they are coming up with a newer technique also, you will be able to detect it. Why? Because your machine learning model knows what is the normal behavior. Okay, and if a particular transaction is actually not falling into the normal behavior, okay, of that particular individual or whatever it is kind of thing, then it will automatically, it can highlight that. Okay, and it can, one second, just give me 1 second, guys. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, so now what happens, so it can detect that kind of abnormalities, okay, and it can highlight at that point of time only. Okay, so this is for the credit card. Okay, and similarly for all other transactions also, all other fraudulent activities also, machine learning is the perfect solution for detecting any kind of frauds. Okay, and it is already been used in many banks. Now second is credit risk assessment. Now what is credit risk assessment? So before giving you any kind of loans or any kind of credits or any kind of what do you call financial aids, to either to you or to an individual or to an organization, what bank does is bank does some kind of a assessment. Okay, what kind of a risk is involved giving you a credit. Okay, because you may take a credit or a loan, but at one point of time probably you will not be able to repay the loan. Okay, then it's a very bad scenario for the bank, right? So now how to assess that kind of a risk involved into giving a credit? Okay, because every bank has their own risk appetite. Okay, and according to their risk appetite, they will take a risk, and then only they will. Giving a credit itself is a risk, by the way, but yes, they want to take a calculative risk there. So here, what they does is they look at different parameters of an individual or an entity or a organization. And these parameters could be your demographic parameters, some of your graphic parameters, some of your transactional parameters, okay, and some of your financial parameters, okay. So, and churning out these all parameters with a machine learning model, it can actually do some kind of a risk modeling, okay, and can say that, hey, like, looks like giving a credit to this individual is little bit risky. Okay, so so for that individual, probably they will not be able to issue a loan, right? So this is for the credit risk assessment. Similarly, for high speed trading, any kind of prediction and forecasting, uh, uh, so artificial intelligence algorithms are the perfect suite for this kind of scenarios. Similarly, for cybersecurity, okay, so cybersecurity is something today, if you look at, okay, so there is a huge risk of cybersecurity. Okay? So cybersecurity is something. Can you please look at? Can you please put
Okay,
your
so there is a
this thing on
huge
mute?
risk of cybersecurity.
Can you please put your this thing on? Somebody is okay. Yeah, yeah, right. Now it is okay. So, Doctor, there probably you have to put yourself on mute. Otherwise, some background noise is coming to me. Okay. So in cybersecurity, what happens? Uh, uh, so today, um, this cyber crime industry is a huge industry, because if you go to 20 years back, the cyber criminals used to do this kind of criminal activities for fun. Okay, so I have seen during those days. Okay, normally the first virus that has been made was by a Pakistani guy, right? And he was making it for fun. Okay, so he was a computer engineer and he was doing it for fun. Similarly, many people at that time, people used to do it for fun. Okay, any kind of cyber attack or any kind of sending virus, this, that, and all those things. But today it is not a fun. Today it is an organized crime. Okay, and it is a huge industry. It is $1 trillion industry. Okay, so cyber crime is $1 trillion industry. So like our industry, like whatever we do uh, in a legal way, they are also it's an industry. They are doing everything on illegal way, right? And they are operating from something probably where you have heard of, called dark web. Okay, so from dark web, okay, or dark net, the cyber criminals are operating, and they are coming up with newer and newer techniques to land attacks on your network, on your server, on your these things. Okay, now for a bank or a financial institution which is holding your money, it is very, very important to take care of this kind of cyber security and other things, or any kind of frauds. Okay, for that matter. Now, how to deal with this kind of scenario? Okay, the conventional way of dealing with cybersecurity is no more working. Okay, the firewalls, the antiviruses, and those things are not at all working, because the cyber criminals, when they land their attack, okay, so they do a comprehensive study of your cyber security loopholes. Okay, and then only they land the attack. Okay, and when they will attack, actually you cannot do anything. Your normal cybersecurity system cannot do anything. Okay, they will completely take the control of your servers, your everything, and they will start asking money, ransom, right? So that send this much amount through cryptocurrency, okay, and then only your servers will be given you back to your control, right? And this has happened, right? Probably you have heard in Ukraine only it happened in 2012 or something, right? So one cyber attack. Okay, so at that point of time only, in most of the European countries, they introduced smart electric meter. Okay, so for their electricity, to see the to record the electricity bill, they introduce a smart electric meter, so that people need not have to come to take the reading of the meter, right? So from the power station only they can take the reading. So it is an electronic meter basically. And that time only, the cyber criminal, what they did, they take the control of one of that household smart meter, and through that smart meter, they went and they take the control of basically the complete power, electric power, this thing, that unit, okay, and the power supply, the actual power supply, and they were been able to black out half of the city, okay, complete blackout, and they were asking ransom. So that is the power. I mean, that kind of an attack they can plan, because once they get something, and probably you have heard in somewhere it happens. So I also saw that news. Okay, so cyber criminals, they send drone. Okay, and they are all devices in the drone, and the drone lands in a building near to a hospital building. Okay, and they intercepted the Wi-Fi connection of the hospital from that drone, and then they take the control of a patient monitoring system, because in many of the European countries, because of they don't have much people, so they have got patient monitoring system wherein it is kind of a machine which continuously monitors the different parameters of the patient and all those things, and it can notify if the patient is not feeling well or something like that. It took the control of a patient monitoring system, especially for the child and all, no, who took birth very recently, kind of thing, the babies, newborn babies and all. So they used to have that. They took the control of that kind of a system, and through which they were been able to take the control of the entire hospital network and the equipment, and they were asking ransom. Okay, so that is the kind of, similarly they does in a hotel. Okay, and they, what they does is they take the control of the entire hotel, CCTV systems, all CCTV control room, all doors. Okay, because they used to have automatic doors and bells and all those things, everything, and they will ask ransom money from the hotel administration or the hotel owners. So this kind of attacks are happening. So deal with this kind of attacks. Okay, many of the companies have come up with something called cognitive cybersecurity systems. Okay, so which is like again powered by a lot of mathematical models and artificial intelligence and deep learning models and all those things. So what it does is, so here it is not a probabilistic, it is not a deterministic model. It is rather a probabilistic model. Okay, wherein they analyze your network traffic, they analyze your lot of things, user behavior and all those things continuously. Okay, what kind of connections are coming to your server? Okay, what kind of connections are moving around in your network? Okay, how your assets in your network are behaving. Okay, how the IoT devices on your network, whether it is a Wi-Fi device, whether it is a door automatic what do you call sweep control machines and all those things. So they will even everything and anything and everything, and it can identify if there is an abnormality, and if there is an abnormality, it will immediately highlight that to your network administrator, right? Or what it can do is there is something called antigen. So if there is a malicious connection coming and it is already acquiring some of your assets, okay, or taking the control, so it can automatically detect and cut those kind of malicious connections. Okay, because I mean, for your administrator to take an action, it will also take some time, right, to act upon that. So before he acts, okay, this cognitive cybersecurity system, they can act and they can stop this kind of attacks. Okay, so this is called cognitive cybersecurity system. It is like our human cognitive systems, right? It is human cognitive. It is like our human cognitive system. Not human cognitive, human immune system, right? So immune system, how it works, it is also working in the same fashion, correct? So thousands of viruses are attacking our immune system, right? But our immune system knows, okay, which is what kind of an attack it is, what kind of a defense mechanism to put, kind of. It's the same thing, similar kind of approach has been applied here. Of course, our immune system is much more intelligent. There is smart wallets. The smart wallets are basically powered by all payment mechanisms, right? So and now it has been implemented everywhere. I think so. Everywhere, if you want to do any kind of purchase or do anything, your payment options are all embedded within your customer journey. Okay, so you do not have to think about a payment. You will get all kind of payment options. How it is possible? It's only possible through a technology like AI. Okay, and similarly, not only domestic transactions, but also your cross-border transactions. If you want to send some money to outside, or if you want to buy something where the actually seller is sitting at some other country, or kind of thing. So for that also, earlier it used to be very difficult because what happens, like each country has their own regulations, right? And also there is a conversion, there is tax, and a lot many things are there. So it used to be very difficult even to send a small amount of money from here to America or from America to here. They have to go to Western Union and they have to do a lot of transfer, a lot of things that were there. But now it is not like that. Now it is very easy. Okay, from your bank account only you can do all kind of cross-border transactions, and this is only possible through AI. Anti-money laundering is also same thing. Okay, so people used to do a lot of illegal activities in terms of what do you call bringing what do you call illegitimate wealth into a legitimate system, and then they send this wealth to across the country to some foreign country for doing drug trafficking, what do you call, terrorist funding, some illegal activities, human trafficking, and all other activities they used to do, right? And also people used to do like they used to create some fraud companies, okay, and then they will put some what do you call, black money into those companies, okay, and then they will create bank accounts for those companies, and now it comes into a banking system, right? Once the money comes into a banking system, you can send it wherever you want, right? So that's what they want, correct? Because they want to actually legalize the illegal assets that they have, or illegal money, black money they have. Okay, so they will create some fraud, false companies, and then they will put money and from this account to that account, and they also try to what do you call? They will also try to see like so that it doesn't come under the notice of the bank, right? They want to do it all under the radar, correct? So this is very very typical, and they are brilliant people, and they are using a lot of, because these are all knowledgeable people along with bank people. They used to do this kind of activities, right? So now what happens, like with anti-money laundering softwares, okay, which are again AI powered, they can't do it, okay, because it can automatically identify what is the origin of the account, what kind of money is passing to which accounts, okay, what is the destination, how it is happening, these, that, and all those things, everything they will detect, okay. And if they see any kind of abnormalities, they will then and there stop it, okay. So many of these things are now not possible because of the AI powered applications. Robo advisors are there everywhere, okay, to do any kind of advising on your portfolio. Earlier we used to have experienced human advisors who has 35 years of experience, okay, on the portfolio management and all those things, okay. So advisors, portfolio advisors, now it is not required, because you have got robo advisors, AI powered advisors, because that 30 years experience guy, probably he can look at 10 newspapers in the morning, okay, and what do you call, looking at all the parameters, he will run some algorithm in his head, okay, and then he will give you some kind of advice that these are the portfolios or these are the stocks where you can invest, right? But the robo advisors can actually interrogate hundreds of data sources. It can look into market data, it can look into political data, it can look into weather data, it can look into everything, anything and everything, and then apply an algorithm and can give you that these are the portfolios, or these are the stocks wherein you can actually put for short term gain, mid term gain, long term gain. Okay, so this there. Similarly, in recommendation engine, so all other smart. So these are a lot of applications are there. So with that, I think I will stop here, because already we are ahead of. I think we don't have time. So I think thank you so much. If you have any kind of question, then I can probably answer those questions. Any questions? So if there are no questions, then probably we can end this call. Thank you so much for having me here, and looking forward in future also we can have a lot many sessions.
Thank you, sir. Very informative presentation. Hope we will organize such type of program in near future. And again, I am thanking you on behalf of Siliguri Institute of Technology NDI Club. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, bye bye.